Jameson Taillon pitched, and it was Sunday, so you can guess how that tilt went. Cubs get beat. Rough weekend. Happy July 4th. Come on, join us.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. That's called an enthusiastic moment to mask my real feelings. Please support the show and be a part of our community here on the program by following on your preferred audio platform, and you can watch, subscribe, and leave a comment on YouTube. Thanks so much for making us your first listen. This sentence is emotional for me as the sentimentalist on the show this week. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. As July 5th will be the one-year anniversary of Sam and I taking over this show, and it's been a great experience. More on that as the week moves along. Today's Monday episode is presented by a brand new sponsor here, Ibotta. Ibotta gives you cash back on hundreds of grocery items, from produce to personal care to pantry goods, so you can make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. Right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners $5 just for trying it by downloading the free Ibotta app and using code MLB. Following a sweep to the Phillies, the Cubs lose 2 out of 3 to the Guardians. They won 10-1 Friday, lost 6-0 Saturday, and lost 8-6 in 10 innings Sunday. The Cubs were down 6-0 Sunday and entered the bottom of the ninth down 6-2, but stormed back to tie it 6-6 off Guardians all-star closer Emmanuel Clase. However, the Northsiders allowed 2 in the top of the 10th and couldn't produce another rally to tie it. Sam, Cubs are now back to 6 games under 500 and 6 games back of first place, as the stretch in which they won 11 out of 13 is now a distant memory.
Matt, where shall I start? Should I start with the fact that when Jameson Taillon does not pitch, the Cubs are a first place 36-32 ball club? Should I start with the fact that Dansby Swanson, Seiya Suzuki, Ian Happ, and Cody Bellinger are hitting the ball like they'd be average hitters in South Bend? Or do I start with the fact that in a late, tight game today, our skipper made a decision that made me not only raise my eyebrows, that they shot through the ceiling with a base open, pitching to a high average, high contact, high run producing Josh Naylor? I don't know. There's a lot of options. But I'll just start by saying, Matt, where are you right now? I think I've been pretty much in the same place since about 50 ball games in. Where are you right now? How are you feeling right now? And then maybe I'll bounce back as Suzuki grounds out again.
I really don't want to spin that wheel, Sam. Those are 3 horrific options.
Seiya Suzuki and Cody Bellinger are now a combined 53 games in a row without a long ball. It's been since, I believe, mid-May for the right fielder, and it's been since April 30th for Bellinger.
I'm starting to get not only discouraged, as I have been in smaller moments as the seasons went along, but now I am approaching games
Where's the power?
with more apathy than I would like, honestly. You know, I am optimistic. I have really been excited, especially since that stretch. They won 11 out of 13, and that's easy to do. But even entering that series in which that stretch started, you know, I was looking forward to first pitch and this series. Hey, let's win 2 out of 3, recover from the sweep to Philly. Let's go up north. Yeah, okay, there was a stage on this show. We didn't even say the city or the team name for that club up north. Okay.
Brats.
And right now, if I didn't like hosting and producing as much as I did, I don't know where I would be, because I am getting to a point where I am desensitized to the result of this ball club. Mm-hmm. And I did some digging with some extra time that I had this weekend. And unfortunately, this team made their own bed way earlier than we thought. Or actually, if you review the tape, we called it live.
Everybody said I was overreacting.
Right. So we may have called it live. I had some PTSD and reviewed that tape from the 43rd game of the year when the Cubs blew a 6-run lead with a 5-run lead with 6 outs to go to the Astros. I'll get more on those numbers later. But I am feeling very displeased, more on the negative than positive side. And it is because they should be way better. I don't know if I'm going to sit here and say they are way better just because the results are now overwhelmingly now going the other way, being 6 games under again. But it's clear that this team has a lot of flaws. They should have won more games than most in that first 43. And I am unfortunately getting a little bit desensitized. Sunday's result, almost an outstanding win. They lose in the 10th. It's like, okay.
Yeah, no, you weren't even excited on the phone when
you almost expected.
Yeah, no. We talked on the phone when it got to be 6-6. Okay. I was listening to the radio, and Matt was just like, literally answered, was like, "Ugh, really?" So now we got to, and I had the same energy. I'm like, well, they're probably not going to win, but if they do, we probably got to go live. But who cares?
Right. No thanks, man.
No. And Matt was like, I don't want to do that.
So that's how I feel. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. So where I'm at is I am ready to do what you just did after this 4-game series because they're 6 out. And, what's frustrating is to just spin – to play a little devil's advocate because that's what good programs do.
Right.
Oh boy, Suzuki really can't hit.
6 games back.
They do have the easiest schedule in terms of percentage left. And so if they're 6 out, it's frustrating because if you just find a way to win today, you have much better vibes. If they win 3 out of 4 this week, which really feels unlikely with the way
it does.
Yeah. And they're not going to be settled into a Wisconsin hotel till about 12:30 tonight. And then they play it.
I don't know why I thought that was so funny.
And then they play it like 1:10 tomorrow
1:10,
on Monday. Yeah. The best news of the week is you're going to be able to enjoy your July 4th and watch the Cubs because it's going to be Hendricks v. Smiley. That game could be over in 45 minutes.
Yeah, that'll be a 2-hour game. You're right.
No, that's going to be really quick.
Yes.
But it just sounds dumb to sit here and have this long-winded conversation where if they do somehow win 3 out of 4 and are 4 back and maybe Cincinnati stumbles at our nation's capital, we say to ourselves, oh, well, they're 4 back and there's a lot of games. So I'm just going to let that be. We'll see what happens this week. It's a make or break, and we'll preview that in a bit. My whole takeaway from this weekend was just all the stuff that irks me. Saturday night, I was at a July 4th type of celebration, I guess. It was like a party, pool party. Okay. The minute Rosario hit a 2-run single, I jumped back in the pool. I literally I was watching the game alone. There was about, 60 people there. I have 50 people there. I was by myself in the corner. 2-run single, TV off, back in the pool. Because most of the time, Sunday being a fluky exception. It's not like they tore the cover off the ball. Right. They just roll over, and that's what they did. And then on Sunday, you have Jameson Taillon, who I feel bad for.
He's the worst pitcher in baseball.
And the thing is, it's so weird. It's like the first 2 innings, he looks good. Then he gives up a 2-run homer to Jimenez on a ball that was like at his eyes. It's almost like he must have been tipping his pitches.
It was clearly a ball.
Clearly a ball. It would have been a ball to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And he hit a 2-run homer.
Well, he crushed it.
No, it's almost like he knew it was coming. And then there's a couple balls. It's just the same. I guess what I'm trying to say, it's the same outing every time. A power hitting lefty, it's a homer. A couple of bad luck. 5 innings, 5 earned, and he's done. And then, the Ross thing in the 10th is just like, I have a real problem with stuff when I tweet something out before it happens, and it happens because I'm not that smart. So David Ross should be a lot smarter than me. And then Joe Girardi. I said I wouldn't pitch today, and then Girardi goes, "You got to be really careful with Naylor here. Even if you try and go up in the zone, if it's a ball, he'll hit it." Girardi's basically saying he'd walk him, is what he's saying on the show. And it's a 2-run single. And it's very plausible if he walks him, Alzolay gets out of that inning unscathed. And by the way,
or better chances to.
By the way, that 10th inning on our side, I mean, Swanson, what a rough weekend, man.
Oh, yeah. No,
Holy
it was a putrid effort.
Moses.
Right.
I mean, he wasn't even close this weekend.
He's hitting 6 now.
They keep they keep.
He's an all-star.
He can't be happy going from Snitker to Ross. I mean, it's like picking out of a hat where he hits every day. Why is he hitting 6th?
No clue. He was hitting 2nd forever.
What is the and Ross's reasoning originally was, hey, I want to get him down in the order for more RBI spots. Do that with Horner, and not 6th, like 3rd or 4th.
I know he's going up against the first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh, but it was
so. But wow, was he outmanaged this weekend and really all week by the veteran Rob Thompson in Philly?
Did you notice how every time the Guardians ran the hit and run, it worked? Like even with Jose Ramirez in the 10th, that might have been a double play ball if the runner wasn't running. Think about it.
Yes.
Right at first base, Young would step on the bag, get that guy in a run
Tag
down.
him. Yeah.
Every time they send the runner, it was at the perfect time. It's little things like that separated, and obviously those two gentlemen. And I wish Terry Francona the best because he's been struggling with his health for actually a bit, and he just came back to the series. But let me tell you, he was healthy enough to make it obvious the class difference between those two gentlemen as skippers.
So the Cubs are in a bad spot right now. We're going to preview the Brewers series by also reflecting on what they are doing and the Cincinnati ball club that has really taken over the sport in some sense. And we do that coming up next. Today's episode is presented by Ibotta. Picking up food for a 4th of July get-together this week. You know you're already doing it, so why not get cash back for it? You could do that with Ibotta. It's officially summer and a new season means new savings, and you could get cash back with each purchase on Ibotta. Ibotta gives you cash back on hundreds of grocery items, from produce to personal care to pantry goods, so you can make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. Either link your loyalty account or upload your receipt after you shop and get your cash back. It's that easy. Right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners $5 for just trying Ibotta by using the code MLB when you register. Just go to the App Store or Google Play Store and download the free Ibotta app and use code MLB. That's IBOTTA, and use code MLB today for Ibotta. The Cubs play the Brewers at 1:10 p.m. Central Monday, and you can listen to every pitch with the Cubs hometown broadcast on Sirius XM, on the SXM app. Search Cubs, or tune into channel 844 and catch the Cubs all season long on Sirius XM. Cubs are chasing 2 teams that are playing really well right now. Reds and Brewers both 45 and 39. Brewers play both the Cubs and Reds this week into the break, so really a crucial week for them as well. Pirates also in the mix at 39 and 44 and 5.5 back, and the Cardinals are 9.5 back, in case you haven't caught that for a little bit. Smiley versus Turan, Hendricks and Miley, Steele and Hauser, and Stroman and Peralta. A little bit of a bingo card of first pitch times with the holiday mixed in Tuesday, 1:10, 3:10, 7:10, then back to 1:10, purely off pitching matchup, Sam. Pretty favorable for the Cubs, but the Brewers have a nice team. They've been playing really well, and they have a massive in-game advantage considering Craig Counsell.
And speaking of Craig Counsell, to all those people that think there's a large talent gap between these two teams, I'd like to read you the lineup today that the Brewers ran out there. Granted, they gave Yelich a day off, who's been hitting better. I'd like to read you
the Brewers lineup in February, but go ahead.
No, but now we have like a substantial numbers. Listen to these numbers. You ready?
I don't want to.
Leading off, some guy, I think he's a former.
Some guy you were about to say.
Yeah, Monasterio.
He was in the Daniel Murphy trade.
Yeah, he's hitting 255 with a 747 OPS in limited time. Hitting second, William Contreras, 247, 758. Hitting third, their stud shortstop, Adames, 203, 662. Hitting cleanup, Owen Miller, 286, solid, 737, weak. Hitting fifth, don't even know his first name, Perkins, 254, 687. Hitting, or no, that was fifth, I think. Hitting sixth, Brian Anderson, 227, 692, a minor leaguer. Bryce Terang, 202, 557, just came back up from AAA. Hitting eighth, Joey Weimer, 209, 682. And ninth, Romel Tapia, 239, 692. That's their team. And the Cubs have a...
And Christian Yelich is starting to get really hot, though.
No, he is, and he got benched, but he is starting to hit the ball better. Now, the Cubs, I believe... So the Brewers have a minus 16 run differential. The Cubs are plus 24.
You could keep the run differential, dude.
No, so I just want to say, so what is that?
Everybody can keep the run differential.
No, I'm just finishing my point. So is that a 40 run difference?
Sure.
Is that what that is? Because
what is it? Minus 16 and what?
Plus 24.
Yeah, you're right. It's 40 on the nose, actually.
So a 40 run difference, and I just read you the lineup, and the Brewers are 6 games up. You know what that screams out to me? Managing
and margins
and managing.
M&M
boys, the M&M boys. If the Cubs split this week,
have another coffee before the game.
If the Cubs split this week, they'll win both games by a combined 12 and lose both by 2, but it'll be the same result. So. Yeah, right. Good pitching matchups on paper. So what? See what happens. It's maddening. It's the only thing that keeps me up at night because I know this team isn't that good, but I know they're good enough if you just flip managers, so I'm not going to go there. I already went there.
After 43 games this year, the 43rd being a 5-run blowed lead to the Astros, the Cubs were 19 and 24. 16 of those 24 losses at the time were by only 3 runs or less. And 9 of those 16, the Cubs actually held a lead in the game. So please don't tell me the Vegas over-under for this team now that, they're just going to finish there.
Yeah, right.
They should be way better.
And the thing that, yes, and what drives you crazy is that it's the same stuff. It's the same way they've been doing it. The last 2-3 years. And the thing about the Brewers is Burns hasn't been good and Woodruff's hurt.
The Reds don't even have a starting rotation.
And here they are. Yeah, well, the Reds, though, at least offensively are ridiculously.
Well, they've been prolific offensively.
Yeah, prolific offensively. Prolific. The Brewers just get by on the margins. I tweeted it out. And it's not just Counsell, it's their front office. Julio Teheran, who's throwing on Monday, and Colin Ray, who got the win, I think, for him today, on Sunday, they're making a combined $2.5 million this year. And they've been ridiculously helpful to the Brewers, whereas we got a $68 million guy that can't get it out. So it's like that. And I will say, Teheran, one thing. Teheran, he got rocked his last start in New York, and he has a 2.85 ERA right now. And his FIP is over 5, meaning he's been ridiculously lucky. So maybe the Cubs will zombie their way into a big game on Monday, but who knows? I mean, they're just getting on the bus as we speak.
Correct. No, that's actually legit as you record close to 10 p.m. Central. So the goal is to win 3 out of 4 then?
I don't even know if it's a goal. I think it's a necessity.
Okay.
It's
a requirement.
I guess if they split, okay, we could sit here and toe the line about being 6 back and have the debate. If you want to make a statement to your fan base, and most importantly, to the president of baseball operations and say, hey, man, don't get rid of Stroman. Hey, man, we want to keep Bellinger, who I'd trade either way. If you want to make a statement, you got to win 3 games and cut this deficit. So we'll see. It's a quick turnaround. It just stinks that they're going into the biggest series of the year with such bad, juju. I mean, a win today.
They had to wait hours Saturday and Sunday to even play.
They had to wait. They're probably tired. This and that. Just find a way to win a baseball game. And by the way, the Brewers are horrible against lefties. They have they're like 4 games under against lefty starters. I think they beat Rich Hill today, but Rich Hill I think threw fine. They're not good. I mean, what I'm trying to say is it's on paper, like you say, it's a great situation for them to do some damage. But I feel like the Cubs haven't won a series there in like years.
No, I think it's been since like 08.
No.
No, but that's
all right. Let's talk about our all-stars, man. Yeah. Let's talk about we're 6 under. Let's just brag that we got a few all-stars like anybody gives a hoot.
And we do that coming up next. Welcome back to Locked On Cubs.
Woohoo!
1-year anniversary of this program this week. We took over on July 5th, 2022. Thank you so much for being with us. And shout out to the everydayers who are with us all 5 episodes throughout the week. And you can become an everydayer by checking us out each and every weekday. Justin Steele, Marcus Stroman, and Dansby Swanson were all named to the NL All-Star team on Sunday. All-Star game is on Tuesday, July 11th in Seattle. Steele and Stroman in the starting pitcher group, and Swanson elected to the team as the second shortstop. Steele, first in the NL and ERA, first in WHIP. Stroman, fourth in the NL and ERA, fifth in WHIP. Yep. Swanson leads all shortstops in the NL and wins above replacement, has been excellent defensively. And those are the Cubs 3 All-Stars. So make or break this week for the Cubs.
I like this. I like the comment on it.
Oh.
Very well deserved for Steele and Stroman. Happy for those guys. Dansby, I guess, was more of a process of elimination thing. Didn't think he's been really good defensively, but doesn't scream out all-star level player. But I guess if you technically really read into the position aspect of it, fine. But a little tired of like the celebration of it. I want to win. That's all I want to do. I want 27 outs to be completed, and I want to have more runs than the other team about 90 times a year. That's what I want to do. Whether that generates 7 all-stars or 0, and you even have to have 1. So I don't find any success or happiness in the fact that we have a few all-stars. I would trade all 3 of those all-stars for 3 wins this week.
Hey, preach, preacher. Yeah, preach. We're going to do an episode immediately following Monday's game, and we'll post that on demand to both the audio and video feeds. We might do 10 to 15 minutes of exclusive audio on Tuesday evening for Wednesday for our 1-year anniversary. Otherwise, we'll return later in the week. But join us again right here, audio or video, immediately following Monday's game. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for Locked On Cubs on YouTube and smash the like button for the algorithm, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and streaming on SiriusXM. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.